We were able to see Mr. Brown sitting in his vehicle as he was ambushed and as the sheriff's office made their way to his residence. Appearing to be surprised, it appears that he was possibly on the phone. At all times, his hands were visible. At all times, you could see that he was not a threat. There was a shot fired. When the shot was fired, he put the car in reverse, putting several feet, if not yards, away from the police who were there. He turned his wheel to the left to turn it away from the law enforcement officers. At no point did we ever see any police officers behind his vehicle. At no point did we ever see Mr. Brown make contact with law enforcement. We were able to see where they possibly reached out to make contact to him, but we did not see any actions on Mr. Brown's part where he made contact with them or tried to go in their direction. In fact, he did just the opposite. While there was a group of law enforcement that were in front of him, he went the opposite direction. As he turned to the left to go across his yard, a second shot was fired, and as he began to accelerate and increase his speed, tracks of mud began to appear in the yard, and when his car was clearly across the yard, at all times what we saw were police officers standing on the pavement unloading their weapons. There were so many shots that we found difficulty in counting the number of shots that his vehicle received. At some point, there was a final shot where it appeared that at that final shot, Mr. Brown lost control. There was a curve in the yard. At that point, as you may know, his car went down the ditch across the street and collided with a tree. When they went to the vehicle, we were able to see when they approached the vehicle, we counted approximately 6, if not more, bullet holes in the side of his car, in the passenger side of his car. Windows were shattered. We were able to see one shot in the front windshield, and we were able to see a number of shots, approximately 6 at least, in the back windshield. At no point, let me be very clear, at no point did we see Mr. Brown pose a threat to the law enforcement officers that were there. My friends, I would suggest to you that it was absolutely and unequivocally unjustified. When they opened the door, there were no weapons found. They pulled his body out of the car, laid him face first flat on the ground. As you could see, the bullet wound that went into the back of his head, and then they began to search his home. And so I can't speak on what everybody else saw. I don't know what video that they saw, but I can tell you that what Attorney Lassiter said was exactly what we saw today.
True. All right.
And so I said this, and as I close my comments, I said this at the NAACP rally on last weekend. I said something to the effect of, it's a new day in Elizabeth City.
That's right. That's right.
And so with this being said, and with us being able to see that this has come to the light, I'm confident that our legal team is more committed now to pursue justice, to make sure that the memory and the legacy of Andrew Brown lives, because what we saw today was unconstitutional and it was not justifiable.